Good morning, Viola. I hope that you've been having a great week and that you are ready to start thinking some more about the goals you're making. What are your goals? What is that one specific goal that you would like to work on and talk to me about and to your teachers? Have you been asking yourself some of the questions we've been discussing about how to create a SMART goal? Remember, we talked about since you've returned this year in 2021, some of you said you made a resolution, and I talked about how a resolution is not exactly the same as a SMART goal, but you can definitely take a resolution and turn it into a SMART goal. We talked about how the S stands for it's got to be specific. We talked about it being measurable when I was visiting. We talked about what my goal was. My goal is visiting classrooms more often. So I am trying to show you that my goal is very specific. It's specifically going to measure how many times I get into your classroom. So yes, we talked about, can Mrs. Druss measure it? I can, because I've made a chart, and many of you spoke to me about making a chart, how I could monitor it, and how I could make a checkoff list, and how I could use different things to be able to measure it. So it's definitely measurable, and I shared with some of the classes what I've been doing to log it so that I can count, make sure I get into every classroom every week. Is it achievable? We discussed that if I could reach it at the end of the first 2 weeks and start to do it more and more every week, then it would be A for achievable. And then I left you with a question last Friday. What is R? So when I visited you at the end of last week, I asked you to think about what do you think the R is. There were so many good guesses. Some people said, does it mean that it's reachable or that it's reasonable? That was a very good guesses. Mrs. Druss is looking to see if it's realistic. So let's think about this week. Is your goal realistic? And also, we can think about it as being reachable, but that's almost the same as achievable. So we're going to think about it being realistic. Is it something that you can do? That is something that you can find and make sure that can really happen? So think about what you're learning about right now, because we want your goal to be realistic for something that you can do in school. You can certainly have goals beyond the school day, but Mrs. Druss is looking to talk to you about those goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, and realistic for you to achieve in school. And I'm going to leave you with a question for those of you who think ahead. What does the T stand for? So start to think about that. And when we're done going through all these letters and thinking about how we're going to make our goal, I'm going to start helping you to think about how to make that goal with your teachers so that we know that we all have a SMART goal. So what are you thinking of for your specific SMART goal right now? Do you have any ideas? Maybe you can start writing down some and brainstorming them. I brainstormed many of my goals before I selected my goal, visiting classrooms more this year and counting that to make sure that I had an achievable goal. So start thinking about your goals and think about which one you really want to track. Mrs. Druss, of course, has shared that I have more than one goal. This is the biggest goal, the most realistic one, the one that I feel is achievable, specific, and one that I really feel is important. So pick out one that you too think is just as important and worth measuring and worth having as your goal for this year and keeping track of. So I hope to be talking to you some more and think about what that T means. Have a great day and a great week, and remember to achieve your best. And to achieve our best, it starts with goals.